Hey, what's up, people? Good morning. It is 7:01 in the Central Time Zone. I got to be honest with you, folks. Got to be straight with you here. Little some changes to the studio setup here. I hope it's a little better than yesterday. I'm gonna have somebody hop in the chat and let me know if it's working the right way. And just as a throwback, I threw in the old Yo Bro show, courtesy of my buddy Mick Blankenship. Yeah, how about that for a throwback? About 2020, 21, something like that. Woo, if that don't get your blood pumping in the morning, nothing will. Good morning. Guys, it is Tuesday. It is already July the 1st. How, how in the world did this happen? It is July 21st, year of our Lord 2025. I am pretty sure that when I was a kid, if you'd have told me I was going to be alive in 2025, I'd have thought we'd have had flying cars and we'd have lived in a place that looked like the Jetsons. But, here we are. Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, yeah, Mick, I need to hit you up, brother. I need to get you to see if you can hook me up with a morning mojo theme song. Yeah, I know not everybody can call upon one of their friends who's a super awesome independent metal artist who has a complete studio to compose for them a theme song. But there it is. That's it. I'm abusing our friendship, bro. Anyway, glad you guys are here this morning. Glad you guys are here this morning. I'm going to kind of monitor. This is weird. Watching me, watching you, watching me, um, just to see if this thing is working the right way. Oh, I see. There's somebody in the chat. Hang on. Pardon me. Good morning, Yaya D. How are you, girl? I'm figuring it'll take us a little while. There's Sarah. Hey, Sarah Metz. Good to see you. It'll take us a while to get the whole band back together. Um, I've been gone for a while, so I appreciate you guys hopping on. Let me know. Is everything sounding okay? Is everything looking okay? Again, like all the regular studio setup that I used to have is like, I think some of it might even still be in boxes, y'all. I'm not so sure. That was back at the Tiny House of Rock, where I don't live at the Tiny House of Rock anymore, but my daughter Molly does, and she is taking good care of it. She and her puppies and her kitties, and yes, I'm not kidding, her chickens, which I'm sure is really a lot of fun in that tiny little neighborhood. But anyway, so it's oh, thank you, Yaya, for the heads up. Okay. Hey, Shelly Godfrey. Good morning. Good morning. So with it being Tuesday and with it being a new month, and I've gotten back into doing the morning mojo. And I've got the page kind of getting back up into getting up and getting running again. If you guys don't mind, and those of you who are watching on the charging station, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on the Instagrams actually, hang on a second, the Instagram's not working yet. But whether you're watching on as my dad says, the Facebook, whether you're watching on the Facebook or you're watching on the YouTube on the charging station channel, I appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, following, doing whatever it is you're supposed to do, I got to get back into the social media thing. But if you wouldn't mind, it does help me let Facebook and YouTube and stuff know that, like, yo, hey, I'm legit. Okay, it's for real. All right, I ain't just playing around here. All right. So if you guys would do all that, if you're watching on LinkedIn, just enjoy, because I don't have a page on LinkedIn, but I am streaming to my personal page on LinkedIn. So for all of my work colleagues and customers and people like that, hey, good morning. Welcome to the craziness that is the morning mojo. And it's just all about us getting together and just starting our day off on the right foot. Just starting off with a little we talk about stuff, we talk about life. I'm just an idiot, and so we just joke about things, and then at the end, I am going to warning. I'm gonna pray for you, and then we're gonna go start our day. And for those of you on Eastern time, I realize you've already started your day, but work with me, people. I'm on Central time, and I don't know that I could be ready to go at 6 a.m. Central time. So there we go. At any rate, so today, in my perfectly imperfect self and my perfectly imperfect little studio here, which we talked about perfection yesterday. So this morning I woke up and the first thing that hit me. Have you guys ever had that happen where you wake up and it's like, just something just kind of like slaps you, goes, guess what? And And in some cases, particularly until I left my most recent corporate station, that first little wake up was, did you remember to send that email? What's waiting for you in your box? What's waiting for you when you clock in? What's going to happen? Yeah, it's amazing when I go, once I stepped away from the most recent corporate gig. I am currently on self-imposed sabbatical. For those of you who may have missed that post a couple of weeks ago. What's funny is in the mornings now, man, it's like something will hit me and it'll be like, today you should talk about. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So for what it's worth, and this may be a touchy subject. I'm just going to tell you, it may be a touchy subject. But hey, what was sitting on me this morning when I woke up was forgiveness. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Yeah, no kidding. Halfway through the year. So yeah, so this morning, what hit me was forgiveness. You know, I am entering into a little sliver, like over the next couple of weeks here, where with family and extended family and things like that, I'm dealing with and kind of going into a situation where I got people who are mad at each other. I got people who are not getting along, and I love all of them. So, hey, raise your hand. Anybody been there? Who's been there? Who feels me? Who needs to hear this morning? Um, so that's where I'm at right now. And I have had to, especially in the past few years. Now, some of you peeps are new. Some of you people have been around for a minute. Um, Forgiveness is something I've had to get real up close and personal with. You know what I mean? Um, and I've read, and I told you guys this yesterday. It's just funny. This is another one of those times. It's like I've read so many books and I've listened to so many podcasts that I'm just going to plagiarize somebody, but I have no idea who it is because I can't remember who it was that said it. but, um, but the whole thing about holding a grudge. You guys hold a grudge. It's okay. You can admit it. It's okay. Um, Dan, I have in my day. I have in my day. Been known to hold a grudge. I've got some people I know and I love that still are really good at just hanging on to that grudge like it's a prize, like it's a trophy. I'm never going to let you forget what you did. Look, I'm going to dust it up and put it right there. I'm going to see it every day. Sits on my shelf. Right? That thing you did to piss me off. Oh, look, it's going to sit right there on that shelf. I'm going to look at it every day. Yeah, I heard a guy say one time that holding a grudge is like drinking poison and then hoping that the other person dies. Yeah, okay, that's a little extreme. I've been pretty good as I've gotten older about not holding grudges. Now, have I been good at forgiving people? Not always. I've gotten better as I have gotten older. And I think that happens as we all get older and you start to realize what's kind of important in life and things like that. And sometimes we've been hanging on, with the exception of one guy from high school. You know who you are. I'm sure you're not watching because you sent me a friend request and I loved it when I clicked delete. Maybe time to let that one go. Anyway, but yes, technically I forgave that dude for being a complete and total dick. Anyway, but whatever the case is, we all find things in our life where maybe you're holding on to something. But here's the thing: um, when you forgive somebody, when you just sort of weigh it all out, you got to remember you're not letting them off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. And here's what I mean. And this is what I'm trying to explain to the people in my life that are still kind of like this. At some point, when you've not forgiven somebody, when you're holding a grudge and you're carrying it around with you, you may not realize it, but you've given that person just a little power over you. They're making that decision for you, basically. I'm not talking to you because you did this. I'm not going to, whatever it is, you're basically giving them a little bit of power. You've given them the ability to live rent free somewhere up in your brain. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. So, if you'll forgive somebody, I mean, you're kind of letting yourself off the hook. You're really letting it go. It's kind of a freedom that you're giving. And the thing is, that person, I think that sometimes some of the things that have been hardest for me is, um, and I probably still have a little list of people that at some point I need to stand in front of and forgive them, and whether they want to hear it or not, and whether they know they've wronged me or not. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that just, I don't know. Someday I'd like to, but even if I just sit right here, even if you just right where you're at, even if you just sit right here and you hop off of this morning and you're like, okay, there's somebody, and even if you just quietly and to yourself just say, you know what, okay, that person, no, they held no more power over me anymore. That thing, whether it happened yesterday or whether it happened 10 years ago or in high school, whatever it is, just you can free yourself right there by just saying, you know what, this is over, this is done, I forgive you. Now, as in the case of ex-wives, I got a few ex-boyfriends, whoever's it is, business partners, whatever. Sometimes, I mean, you get into, when you forgive somebody, it doesn't mean that you forget. That whole little thing they used to tell us as little kids, forgive and forget. Okay, that's cute, but it doesn't mean, yeah, it doesn't mean, hey, come on back. No. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes that forgiveness that you're given, whether they want it or not, can help you build that bridge. Okay. Maybe you're building a bridge and maybe they can, maybe you can start connecting with that person again. But it doesn't mean that you forget what happened. And in some cases, I had an old preacher, a preacher a lot of you guys know, and a lot of you don't like, but I actually learned quite a few things from. And I remember he said one time, he said, look, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So, forgive them, but it doesn't mean, okay, all is good. It can be. And I think in some cases, how many of us are holding on to little things that are bugging the crap out of us? It's like, it's really not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. And you start weighing out your relationship with this person. And it's like, really, do I just need to get over this? That's just that. Maybe that's just how they are. Maybe they're just one of these people who speaks without thinking and they did not mean to insult me. That's just how they are. And maybe it's kind of how they are to everybody. I mean, whatever the case is, even if it's something little, just throw it out there. What's up, Brian? How are you, man? How's the fishing wherever you are this morning? I know you're somewhere near a water hole, my man. I know. Um, so not to totally belabor the point, but I was reminded this morning as I sat down with my coffee and I was thinking about this. There's the most amazing story. Jim Clark, what's up, baby? Um, there's a story, and I mean, I say story, it's true. I'm a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, y'all. Okay. And I'm telling you, I go back. There's a point to this. This is not going to be just a football story. I am telling you, I'm talking like I still have a creamsicle and white. Um, I still have a creamsicle and white, like jersey, like in my closet. Okay. That's how far back I go, to the 70s before they got cool and changed their colors and started winning Super Bowls and Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, and all that stuff. I'm a fan from way back. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, there was a running back named Warwick Dunn, graduated from the University of, I think, Florida, but he was just an amazing person as well as being an amazing running back. I was so glad that he got to win a Super Bowl when they won the first time. But anyway, so Warwick Dunn grew up grew up in, I think, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and his mother was a police officer. So, they weren't loaded, and I don't know how many brothers and sisters he had and all, but he made reference to the fact that they had a pretty simple life growing up, and his mom was barely making ends meet as a police officer. Well, his mother got shot and killed trying to catch some guys who had just robbed a bank. And he carried with him, of course, the anger. This is when he was, I think maybe he was in college. I mean, he was a little older, but I mean, he carried this grudge with him into adulthood. He was so angry, and this guy was caught and he was incarcerated. And later on, and I think probably towards the end of his NFL career, if not right afterwards, I remember hearing this story. He arranged to meet his mother's killer in prison. And he walked into the little cell there where you can meet, where they have the meetings or whatever like that, just like if you were visiting a family friend. He sat there and he looked the guy in the eyes, and the guy started talking. He said, I don't care. I'm just here to tell you that I forgive you for killing my mom. And, that was it. And the guy who walked in with him, I think he was one of the other coaches or something like that who'd gone in there with him, said, I just looked, and the guy who had murdered his mother was just flabbergasted, of course, because he just looked at him, he didn't know what to say, and he kept trying to figure out what to say, and Warwick just said, "No, that's it. I've said my piece. I forgive you." And he got up and he walked out. The warden told him that the ultimate justice was due in a couple of months, and which means that he was being going to be, I don't know what they do in Louisiana, whether it's electric chair or I don't know, hanging, public hanging, whatever it is, firing squad or lethal injection, whatever it was. This guy was going to be put to death. And so a couple of things happened. So Warwick Dunn, this guy who's, he's got means, he's got influence and things like that, had really no reason other than the fact that he said it was time to let that go. He'd been carrying it with him. So he forgives the guy that killed his mother. The warden says, "Hey, the event is, on this date, and you're invited to come and watch." And he said, "I don't need to, because this person no longer has any power over me whatsoever." Guy didn't even meet, changed his life, in many, many ways, certainly not for the better, not for his brothers and sisters and I don't know what the whole situation was like, but he forgave the guy who killed his mother so he could be let off the hook because he had been carrying that with him through his career and everything else. And then said, "I don't need to see this guy die," which, by the way, I just don't know the level of anger. And if you all have been in that situation, listen, I love you. I don't know how you did it, but sitting and watching somebody die, I just don't know how much satisfaction I would get from that. It is what it is. So he walks away from that. As I was thinking about that this morning, it just occurred to me. I mean, if that guy, just a guy, can let somebody off the hook for something that big, man, what are you holding a grudge for somebody who said something ugly to you? What do you do? What if they picked on you in high school? In the grand scheme of things, what do you need to let somebody go? And I will turn that around real quick before we go too far down the deep rabbit hole. Let me right here at the end, plot twist. It's like a really, really good movie. Plot twist. Have you ever, or do you need to now, ask somebody to forgive you? Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, when that hit me, this morning, oh my gosh, y'all, that was huge, because I realized that I am actually pretty good at forgiving. Someday I'm going to see that one guy from high school and I'm going to forgive him, and he's going to be like, "What the hell are you talking about, man?" But whatever, But are there some people right now, if I really take inventory, are there some people that maybe I need to ask forgiveness of? Either way, giving the forgiveness is huge. Asking forgiveness is really, really humbling and hard. I have in recent years had several situations where I've asked for forgiveness. In some cases, begged for forgiveness, I feel like. So either way, it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself, to give yourself relief by forgiving somebody. And if you need to ask forgiveness, I would argue that probably you get the same net effect if you've wronged somebody, no matter how, maybe how minor it was. If you feel like, or that maybe you need to apologize for something, you never lose anything by apologizing to somebody for something you said you did wrong. And again, you're sort of in that case, I guess maybe you're letting both of you off the hook, because maybe they're not ready to forgive you. But I would argue that it is hard not to forgive somebody who is asking you for forgiveness. What's up, Adam? Hey, Cheryl. What's up? The work done was Florida State. Thank you, dude. I knew he was in Florida someplace. What's up? Richard Phantom has joined. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be Clint, the official enforcer of the Yo Bro Show and the Morning Mojo. What's up, buddy? So there you go. There's your thing to think about today. I went maybe a little longer than I want to. I'm going to try to keep these Morning Mojos a little shorter. I know, guys, back in the day, I'd go Sometimes I go 30 plus minutes. I will tell you this, that when I do have guests, because the way this new little software thinking with jig, the way that it works, it's a little easier for me to do more of a podcast kind of thing where I can have people on. It's a little easier. So I'll have folks on from time to time and we'll go longer, but I'm gonna try to keep it to 15 or 20 minutes. I don't want to belabor the point. Hey, y'all got stuff to do. I got stuff to no, actually I don't have a job, so I don't have anything else to do. I can sit here and talk to you people all day. Oh man, real quick. Here we go. How do I do this? There we go. My brother Jim Clark just nailed. Ooh, man, Jim Clark with the truth bomb. Mm, yep. Yep. There we go. There we go. That is the truth, man. Sometimes it is very, very hard to forgive ourselves. So anyway, as I wrap up here, and Jim, I may have to take off on that one tomorrow. That may be tomorrow's subject, man. I may have to go and because I got a whole guys. I don't have it close by. I have a notebook full of just stuff I want to talk to you guys about and share with you, and people I want to have on. So and some of you that are regulars, you might be surprised. Actually, there are a few people that have been with us since Yo Bro days back in 2018. Some of y'all are going to be guests on the Morning Mojo sometime. So just get ready. You're going to see some familiar faces. And if you want to hop on, you got something you want to talk about, let me know. Slide into my DMs. Nobody says that anymore, do they? Do they say it anymore? Slide into my DMs? Is that okay? I'm so old. Anyway, you want to be a part of the show? Hey, let me know, man. Let's figure out what we're going to talk about. Let's hop on. So, Jim, that's a great idea, man. Maybe you and me. Maybe tomorrow that's what we do. I don't know. Let's talk. At any rate, though, for those of you who are not spiritual, for those of you who are not religious of any kind, or maybe even if you are of another religion other than Judeo-Christianity, I am just going to warn you. At the end of these little sessions here in the morning, I'm going to pray over you guys. So I am hoping that you will receive that in the manner in which it is intended. I am not trying to influence you one way or another. I happen to believe that there is a God. There's a God that loves you and wants the best for you. And I want to send us out of here each day, praying God's blessing upon everybody. So you got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. God, thank you so much for this group of people this morning. And God, I appreciate you giving me, Lord, I'm just grateful that you give me this little thing, man, Lord, that just this little thing that you just put in me that for whatever reason I still have to kind of get out. God, I thank you for just the simple technology to be able to reach lots of people. I have friends all over the world, God, thanks to this technology. And God, right now, I'm asking your blessing upon everybody, whether they're watching right now, whether they're watching later, God, and just help each of us understand that place in our heart we need to get to where we can forgive, where we can forgive those who have wronged us, just as you forgive us for the things that we do wrong. And God, you just tell us, hey, I love you. Learn from this. And God, help us learn to forgive ourselves as you've forgiven us too. So help us to forgive others, help us forgive ourselves. Lord, help us lift this weight so that we can, unshackle ourselves and we can move forward to be your hands and feet out here to a very increasingly dark world where they need to see your light. And God, we know that the only way people are going to see your light is if it comes from us. You asked us to be the light of the world. We are that city on a hill, Lord. Thank you so much for putting that in all of us. I ask for blessings upon all these folks today and for a great rest of the month as we start this new month. Lord, I thank you for all of these things. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, then. Come on now. I got to do a little more Yo Bro Show song. Come on. Guys, you guys remember that? Everybody, this is the Morning Mojo. I'm going to be back every morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. So, wake the kids, phone the neighbors. It's the Morning Mojo. I love you guys, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.